what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Well, another exciting day out here in the shop, and that is because it is new build day. That's right, another build coming to the channel. I know a couple of you guys are going to be all upset that the Charger's not coming back, but I promise you it will very soon. But no, we've got a great car here that we're going to get started on today, and we're doing it for a really, really good guy that a lot of you guys already know. So a lot of you guys already know Frank Fanelli, formerly of Bitchin Rides and also on Bitchin Bootcamp.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, the Fanelli
Restorations.
Fanelli Restorations YouTube channel. But no, we're both Utah guys and we're both Mopar guys, and it made a whole lot of sense for us to actually team up and go ahead and tag team one of these builds. So I'm going to show you guys here his 1970 Dodge Super Bee. A lot of you guys have already seen this car before. I ended up seeing it actually for sale on Marketplace, and I hit Frank up and said, hey, instead of selling this thing, why don't we tag team it and do all of the sheet metal work and restoration work on it? And thankfully you decided to not sell it.
I did. My wife and I were sitting in the kitchen after I listed it, and we were like, I don't know, can we really be selling this car right now? And we were like, maybe we can figure a different way of, getting rid of something else, or I don't know, working it out. And then Dave hits me up and he's like, what can I do for you to not sell this car? And so we started talking about it. I was like, well, if we combine forces and work on it together, because I didn't want to spend the next however many years by myself doing this car. I want to get it done and start enjoying it. So I was like, it's like the Mopar gods open the seas and let's freaking do this. So here we are.
Well, I could not be more excited to, of course, welcome a new build to the channel, but again, to be working with Frank on this thing, and we are going to hammer through this. So thankfully, our friends over at AMD already hooked us up with all the sheet metal for this car.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll go through, I'm going to get it up on the lift, show you guys a complete damage assessment on the whole thing, and this is one of the bigger sheet metal builds that we've had on the channel. I'm talking roof, I'm talking quarters, which those of you guys that know, 70 quarter panels, you can't just slap new ones on there. We got to modify 69 quarters to fit the 70, but a whole lot of work. So let's go ahead and show you guys what this car looks like. All right, so we got it back here in the shop. Unfortunately, it is crazy windy outside, so I apologize if the audio is broken up just a little bit there, but wanted to get it in here and also give Frank a chance to kind of tell you guys the really cool story. He's been hanging on to this car forever, and again, so excited to actually see this car come back to life. So man, tell us kind of where you got it, how long have you had it?
Totally.
What are our plans for it?
Okay, well, let's see. It was 2017, right? That's 9 years ago. Yeah, so 2017, I was looking on Craigslist actually, before Facebook Marketplace is even as big as it is today. And I've always wanted a 70 Super Bee. My dad built me a model. He built me a bunch of model cars when I was a kid, but the one that was the coolest to me was this blue 70 Super Bee. It had tunnel ram, big fat tires out back. I thought it was the freaking coolest car ever. And I always thought this was a really neat car to have. And at the time, I think I had a couple other Mopars and different cars, but I still wanted one. And it popped up on Craigslist in upstate New York. And I'm from New York originally. So at the time, I think on Long Island at the time, so I wasn't too far. And I flew up to Syracuse, New York to see it, like sight unseen, basically bought the car because I just had to have it. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it was a pretty good deal back then. $4,000. I'm not afraid to say it right now. Like, it was a swinging deal at the time. It's worth a whole lot more, you know, today.
I'll give you $4,200 right now for it.
Make it $4,300. Yeah, no, it was a swinging deal. I mean, the car is definitely, as you guys see, it needs a bit of work, but it's a numbers matching, body numbers matching. It doesn't have the original drivetrain, but it's a 383 4-speed, body's number matching car, fender tag. It was an N96 car. It currently has a power bulge hood on it because someone swapped it on there, but it's an N96 car, and Dave has a good donor one that we might swap for if it works out to be good, and we might go with that, or maybe we might keep this one. I'm not quite sure yet, but it was a J45 hood pin car, black vinyl top, and I'm trying to remember some of the other options, but it was a pretty well optioned, you know, Super B minus other than, you know, it could have been a 6-pack car, but really neat car. And yeah, I've toted this thing around the country with me. I've been in the military for a while, so every time I've moved, I've taken it with me. And if any of you seen any of my other videos with Alex, we drove my big green truck, Big Bob, across country with this thing on the back of it from New York to get it out here to Utah about 5 years ago. So it's been all around with us. And now, like Dave was saying, I was thinking about letting it go because I'm really busy right now with life. Also, like, having a family, priorities kind of shifted. So I didn't want to spend a long time building this car. So Dave swooped in and we were here to build this thing, and I'm really stoked. So the goal and the final vision that we have for this car is powering through, obviously, is powering through metalwork. So we've got a huge boatload of AMD gold over here, which we'll unpackage and show you guys. But kind of as you've seen, this car needs a lot of metal all around it, and we're not going to spend hours and hours going through every meticulous little patch. We're going to pull big panels off and just, you know, go through this thing and just make it new and fresh and clean. And then the ultimate look, though, I'm keeping that a surprise for right now. But I will tell you guys, I am not going to stay true to the fender tag. I'm going to go away from the yellow and do something different. So it's my car. I've always loved a different color a little better. And you guys can guess if you want on what I'm going to do with it, but we're not going to reveal that until we get there. So the final look's a little bit of a surprise still, but beyond that, yeah, it's going to be a freaking really neat car. Part of what we're doing too is the US Car Tool stiffening kit. We're going to mini tub it a little bit to get a little bit more meat out back. I'm trying to think of what other cool stuff we're trying to do with it. But
man, I tell you what, I think the coolest thing is getting it to be rust-free.
That's a good start.
Not gonna lie. So
it's a good start.
That's probably one of the things I think that might have stood out to a lot of you guys is just there are definitely some areas that did not fare nearly as well as the rest. I'll tell you pretty much, I mean, everything from just about the door back on this car is going to be replaced.
Yeah, I think the car started out in Florida, if I remember correctly, before I bought it. So I think it sat probably in some guy's jungly yard, and that's why it's so torched. Surprisingly, the frame rails are actually really good on the car still. Someone replaced the trunk pan years ago, so when we get it blasted, I guess we'll see if it still looks worthy or not. But yeah, like Dave's saying, the whole back half of this car is pretty much going to be all new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, again, it very reminiscent of a lot of the work that we did on my 70 Super B. Again, going back, the same thing with transferring the side markers and shortening the 69 rear quarter panels to getting the end caps to fit here on the quarter panel extensions. Of course, getting this scoop here transferred over onto the new quarters as well. We've got a door skin, we've got fender work to do, possible, hood swap maybe, trunk swap maybe. But the goal at the end of this thing is to turn this into a absolutely killer, rust-free driver. We're actually going to be doing body work and paint work on it here in my shop as well before it leaves. And you know, Frank lives about an hour or so away from me, so as he comes here, progress is definitely going to be happening really, really quick. And you know, we spent a lot of time talking. I'm ready to get to work, man.
Yeah, no.
So we have the blaster actually coming here in like 4 days, and we have to get the entire car stripped down. There's still a bit of interior left on the inside of it. We're going to get most likely quarter panels opened up, roof skin popped off here in this video as we get it ready for blast. So without further ado, man, let's get this thing thrown up on the lift and let's get to work.
Let's do it.
All right, well, we're about 5 hours in, and the bottom side of the car is pretty much completely stripped. I mean, we're actually working what I would consider at a lightning pace here. You can see my buddy Dino here is putting on our rear dollies. And really at this point, guys, we can go ahead and put it on the ground and start rolling it around and getting the entire inside of the car completely stripped out. Having a look here at the bottom side, I know you guys have not seen this yet, and I promise I'll do a much more in-depth walk around here soon, and especially after blast, it's gonna reveal all sorts of stuff. You can actually see, I don't know if you've seen this, Frank, but Bondo worms all over this thing.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so there could be a couple surprises that we find along the way, but I already knew that the rear cross rail would need to be done. But the really good thing here is that none of the frame rails have anything major going on. I mean, there is a major amount of undercoating and seam sealer and different things that we found in places, but overall it's actually in really, really nice shape. I think here on the outside of this frame rail, I mean, there's undercoating on here that's more than a ½ inch thick on the side. So, and thankfully so far, nothing major, no crazy rust underneath.
That one spot up on the front frame rail that was just really weak and just
Yep.
spot. I think it's actually covered now underneath here, but I cut out a little like 1 inch by 2 inch spot. And other than that, it's actually really good.
Yep. So looking here, front radiator support piece, your typical, you know, somebody had a good time with this car. Somebody probably also got pulled out of a ditch in this car. So you can see here how it's kind of bent out that way, but all that stuff is super fixable. And then also, as Frank mentioned, I do have a 4-door Coronet parts car. I actually found it for free on Marketplace, if you can believe that. But yeah, we're gonna be scabbing quite a few parts off of that car here in the next couple days. But man, this is super, super exciting. Everything so far has come off really easy. I'd say maybe a half dozen or so broken bolts.
Yeah,
I think I broke off or cut off 5 of those myself. But no, overall, everything has come off really, really good. So let's go ahead, get the car back down on the ground and start on the interior. All right, guys, well, we're wrapped up with day one, and man, got a whole bunch of work done here on the car. Man, you know, having Frank here and then also doing this with the boys, it just really, really came together quite well. I think we spent in total about 10 hours out here yesterday, but we got the car like 98% stripped. There's a couple little things here left under the dash. The brake booster plate here, the brake master plate, still on the car, a couple little brackets here or there, but the car is all stripped down. Now, little bit of bad news. I did hear from my blaster today. He pushed out 1 week, which is actually a really good thing, because as we started tearing the car down, started seeing, I mean, we had plans to switch out like this upper cowl, for example, but judging by just how grody and how nasty this thing is around the edges, I can guarantee you the lower is going to need some attention. So here today and over the course of the weekend, we're actually going to spend a lot of time taking off certain parts and pieces, dissecting this car, getting it even more torn down, so that way we can just do a much more thorough job, get deeper inside the car, and make sure we address all those rust issues, so that way Frank never ever has to worry about it again. But looking at the inside, I mean, if there's one silver lining here, the floors are actually really, really good. A couple little spots that we'll have to address, but I do have that 4-door donor car, which is going to come in handy for a lot of those little parts and pieces, because believe it or not, that car is incredibly solid. But I know I kind of breezed through the walkthrough a little bit, but man, this thing needs a ton of work. But I tell you what, here in about the next 2 or 3 days, this car is going to look so much different than what it looks like right now. I'll just tell you this, you will not be able to recognize this probably as a Super B or as a Mopar at all. So with that, guys, this is gonna wrap up episode 1. We're gonna start filming episode 2 today, get this thing all torn down, get it ready for blast, and get it one step closer to getting this car in epoxy and on the paint and body. So till next time, guys, I hope you really are enjoying this build series, and can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Take care. I'll see you again real soon.